Well, good
So
day.
yeah. So
This
it's
it
today,
got real
man.
serious, and we're trying to lighten it up now all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. We got to lighten that. So instead of that, like, let's talk about uh, spanking children or something, right?
Emotion. Oh, geez,
Yeah.
you
Here
didn't
we go.
say that.
So I'm drinking one of these.
What is
So
that?
it's a Radler.
A rat? Isn't that like a breakfast beer?
Kind of, yes. Yeah,
Yeah, grapefruit juice and beer.
that's fantastic. Eh? So
Mm. I'm doing my
that way you
post.
get some vitamin C.
Try to. I'm getting my post workout rum in.
You know, you nice post workout rum. That's how you're
Post workout
supposed to
rum.
be drinking. Yep, that's
Yeah,
how
I
it is.
carb loaded yesterday. So tell me what regrets you had at the fair.
Going to the fair. Oh
Hmm.
man, you saw me walking. I was a mess.
Yeah,
Just a pain. Holy
oh, it,
jeez.
what sucks is that you could fix other people, but you can't fix you.
It's like a really weird curse, man. It's horrible. Like I was like Ange looked over me, she's like, "You okay?" I'm like,
No.
"No, not really." I was like, "Why?" It's like, is your leg numb?" I'm like, "No, it's not numb. It hurts a lot."
Can you feel
But
your left arm? Are you going
no.
numb on one side?
Oh God, it's too much. It's really hard, for to stand on that concrete for so long. But so here's a question for you.
Yeah.
That hat that I had, is that
It's
is
it,
that is that prejudiced? Is that being racist?
you're Chinese. You can wear
Yes.
that. I can't
So
wear
is
that
is it is it okay? I mean, there was a Chinese guy that was selling it, and the stuff probably comes from China, right?
I would imagine. It looked very authentic. Oh, who we got? We got Molly and we've got Pebbles. Hey, how's it going? So I went to that what are those hats called?
I don't know.
You should
Chinese
know.
hats? Like,
If you can play the
why?
piano, you would know
Why?
how,
Why should I know? It's
because I know what a babushka is. You should know what those pointy cone-shaped Chinese hats are.
so those hats weren't really something that like my relatives wore because they worked on the railroad. Um, so it's called an Asian conical hat.
It's pretty on the button with that.
Yeah, yeah. But did you take a good close of it, look at it, and there was like a picture of a marijuana plant on it?
Absolutely authentic. That's exactly
Yeah,
how they would have done it found in China.
that's how they did it. Maybe in like yeah, it was wonderful.
Now,
But
now I know you
I
found
should
some.
have gotten one. I should have got one.
You can probably buy it on Temu for $1.
Probably they're actually $8.44 on Temu. Actually, $8.44. So
Was there any Asian cuisine there, or did you just opt for? Did you eat there?
yeah, I had a genuine Asian cuisine. I had chip truck fries.
Oh,
Uh,
chip truck.
no,
Is that how you
very
say it?
good. Tell you a
Very good.
long time.
Chip truck.
Yeah.
I was trying to not eat like a garbage, like a dumpster fire. So I had wings, which were probably
Not hot
mildly.
like last time.
No, I would do that wing eating contest
Yeah,
again
I
though.
would do that again.
It was the next day where it was a little tough. So you can't even
It's
wipe.
a,
You just got to dab with a wet cloth,
it's a little bit of regret there. Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
But no, I opted for chicken wings, which I'm sure I'm going to get salmonella in the next 24 to 48 hours.
probably.
And
Yeah.
we had it came with fries, and I thought, well, since I'm gone down this rabbit hole, might as well make it into poutine.
Might as well go all the way. You don't want to
Dude,
quit part way.
it has been so long since I've eaten anything like that. Like I'm
Yeah.
really, really trying here. That was probably the most satisfying garbage I've put in my mouth in some time. And I'm also the
Yeah.
dad where all the kids, they're ordering stuff, and I'm the guy that doesn't want anything thrown out.
Well, you can't go to waste. There's
Right.
starving kids in China that would eat that.
Could I send some to do you have cousins?
They might send it back.
I want to
Actually,
do my part. So
I bet they eat better than we do here.
right. So they had guaranteed to eat better than we do here.
Yeah.
So I had this poutine and wing thing, which was honestly probably not great, but it tasted fantastic. The kids both just had fries and gravy. Fine.
Yep. Yep.
And dude, I was a glutton and I felt every potato in me just fighting to get out. And no regrets. I carb loaded for today. I had a heavy
Great,
workout this
good.
morning and then a really good endurance run this evening.
And
So
you probably moved like a piece of lead, though, right?
I probably would have shaved a couple seconds off if I had not eaten 3 hours of poutine yesterday.
But poutine is good. So like where so my girls love poutine. Okay. And their
Right.
favorite place, I hate to say it, is New York fries.
Yeah, why not?
And I'm
Which
like, really? Like anytime I go to Winnipeg with Taylor, she wants to go to New York fries. I'm
we'd
like,
have New York
we're
fries here.
I know we're in Winnipeg, and you want to go to New York fries. She
Mhm.
just loves New York fries. Now, whether it's because it tastes good, or she likes it better, or because it's just she had a fun time doing it the first time, and she wants to revisit that.
Of course, the memories. Like when I
So
was a
it's the
kid,
memories.
Orange Julius was a big thing, and it was
Oh,
only
it
in
was
Winnipeg,
it was good. It was only in Winnipeg. You had to go to
and they
like
only
the
had
Bay to get it or something, right?
and they had one flavor, orange.
Yeah, orange. None of this
That
like
was it.
strawberry Julius.
No, Orange Julius. That's what you asked
Yeah,
for. That's what you get. And they just had 3 different sizes.
yeah.
Oh God, they were there till 4 till 11. Oh my God,
Who?
Pebbles and her
Oh God, really?
clan of littles. Yep.
Where are the comments here? There we go.
Oh, you
There
can't
we
see them.
go.
Let me overlay that
I got
stuff.
him
Hang
now.
on.
I got him there now.
Okay.
So,
So
geez, nope, nope. I can't do that. I don't do the rides. I don't do any of that stuff. No, it doesn't happen.
you know what? It came from I think grade 9 or grade 10, where I had a date, and I did not date much. And I remember I ate a corn dog with mustard that day, and on the
Okay.
monster, it didn't stay in on my date.
Ugh.
And that's
Well,
when you go back to school on Monday and everybody hears about it.
yeah. Well, you shared with somebody. Somebody was on the receiving end of it.
Somebody got some of that, and
Yeah.
I to this day, the
What
monster's
was
gone.
what was the
What was the
one?
monster?
The zipper. The zipper.
The fun one on the zipper is when you take an
Yeah.
old bolt and
Yeah.
just have it in your pocket, and when you get out, drop it in there, then watch
Yeah.
the next people go with the loose bolt rattling around in there,
Yeah.
thinking, "What the hell's going on here?"
I went on that when I was a kid. I don't even know where it was, but I went there and my mom went on with me because I was too young to go by myself, right? And we stopped at the top and the damn thing broke.
It
One of the
broke.
belts broke off. Yeah, it broke off. And somebody had to climb up, no safety gear, to replace one of the belts to get everyone down again.
I don't know if there's any safety gear that's designed specifically for fair rides. I'm sure a rope would have been good.
Well, I mean, we got to be really impressed that those things are holding together after all these. Like, those are the same rides from like decades ago.
The zipper itself, I believe, was built in the 60s.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Like,
and I
oh,
didn't see it there this year.
yeah, designed in 1968. But like I think it's actually being retired.
I would hope so. I mean, there's only so much Bondo and JB Weld you can stick on that thing.
Wow. Yeah.
However, I do
There's
believe that the traveling
yeah.
fair rides are safer than the stationary fair rides because they have to dismantle them and put them together every single week.
Well, that's fair, but you got to look at who might be potentially putting them together.
Oh, these guys are engineers. Look at them. They're never mind.
Absolutely, they're the cream of the crop, right?
They know what they're doing. I mean, if I have taken apart the zipper many, many times, put it back together, I should. You could probably do it sober. You could probably do it sober.
You could probably do it sober. Yeah, exactly. Right. Fireworks.
Were there fire? You know what? We were having a conversation about the fireworks. Here's my thought on that, and chime in chat if you think that I'm wrong. I might be wrong, but I'm probably wrong. Ask my wife. We have a fire ban everywhere, right? And we have people who are escaping fires that are burning their houses down in town. Do you think it's in poor taste to set off fireworks right next to the hotel that they're staying at? Just a thought.
I don't know because that's actually a legitimate question because when they were having refugees from Syria,
right?
I think, and they were saying, should we be banning fireworks because having explosions in the air could be triggering the PTSD, right?
For sure. But with this, I mean, no, not all. Do you not all you think that they should do the fireworks or it's drier than a popcorn fart out there. Like all you need is something to go up and then what? I mean, I would have, if not that I'm in charge of anything anywhere, but the reality is if I was part of the whole system that's putting that together, you think they should not? I would be calling every municipality and asking, are you guys doing fireworks in your town at all? Yeah. And if it's resounding no, then maybe I know everybody wants to see them. I love fireworks, but it's just the timing is a little off.
Yeah. Is there a fire ban right now in Manitoba? Like, there's something around in our area.
Well, technically, there's a fire ban all the time in Brandon, unless you have a certified or a
certificate, like an inspected thing.
Yeah, if you have an inspected fire pit, you can't.
Or it looks like maybe there is a fire. No, there isn't. There's one in Spruce Woods. Restrictions are in place, but nothing in Brandon.
If we can't have fireworks, the drones would look cool, but our budget is not drone budget. We are
right.
Roman candle budget in Brandon. See, like where our campsite is, they have a fire advisory, and I like the fact that the owners of the campground put out a thing on the group page saying if you have a fire and you leave it unattended, like you're supposed to put it out with water, stir it till the embers are gone, right? Which is the responsible thing to do. Basically, they said if you leave a fire unattended, we will take your fire pit away until the fire thing is off. Because, guys, you want to be the person that burnt down the fire pit, burnt down the campground. So, like, we have a propane one too. We thought, well, I'll bring this propane fire pit out just in case we really feel
those ones are pretty good too, right? Those are
and they can turn it off. But I mean, still hose it down. And I got the kids these. If you haven't bought them, they had them at Showtime or what's it called? Showtime in the mall. Showcase.
Oh yeah, Showcase. Yeah,
they're basically automatic electronic water guns.
Oh yeah, okay.
Dude, they're rechargeable. Yeah. It's like, so at the end of our fire, I'm like, go ahead and shoot the fire. And the kids were blasting this thing, having a blast. And then, of course, took the garden hose and did it. But just be safe.
Yeah. So why do they have those water guns now? Why don't they have the super soakers like back in the day?
Super soakers are great, but you just pull the trigger and that sucker just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. It's fun. Yeah. Like I bought 4 so we could all battle each other.
But we don't have those anymore, eh? Those super soakers. You can't even get them.
Sure you can.
No, not new ones. No way. Like you can get super soakers, but they're not pressurized. They're either battery powered or they're pump action.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Right? Yeah, like none of them. You can't get the pressurized ones.
Oh, the ones where you pump it like crazy?
Yeah, and it store all the pressure and it shoots like mad. Like there was a
pop an eyeball
mounted one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, back when life was a little more dangerous and we respected fully automatic water guns, my friend. Fully. You pull the trigger.
It's called a water hose, isn't it, eh?
Yeah, we had the water hose. That was our big fun. You just put your thumb on the end because we didn't have an end for it.
Hey, it's not working. You know, unfold it.
Okay.
Get your little brother, your little
just sister, look at the end for me real quick.
Yeah. Something's stuck in there.
But we had I never had a super soaker as a kid. We had those really shitty ones with that little red cap you'd pull off the end and have to.
Oh, they were just garbage.
And hope.
And they only worked for like a day.
And you get 4 or 5 trigger pulls, then you're filling it again, and someone else unloads on you.
Yep, exactly. But it's like, where's the fun in that?
Yeah, and
it's more fun if it's you. If it's you, it's a lot of fun, right?
Oh, absolutely. But I like having, honestly, water fights with the kids they're fun, especially when you have really powerful, fully automatic water guns because it's just you're getting, and they're small and they can't run so fast.
Yeah. So when my son was really young, he must have been 6. I came home one day with Nerf guns.
Yep.
Okay. And I tossed one to my son, one to my wife, and they're just a little single shooters, and they're just taking shots at each other. Then I reach back behind my back. I've got a 6-shooter repeating one, just because that's how you do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it got so big to the point that eventually we got these like they're like Tommy guns,
like a Gatling gun. I've seen those.
Yes, and my son had 2 of them. He was little, and my brother came over to visit, and he said, "So you got to go into the room, hide. Say you want to show him something, then you should come here and come out with both of them and just let loose on them, right?" So that's what he does. He goes, "Hey, uncle, come here, or auntie, come here. I want to show you something in my room." So he walks over there, and he jumps out from his room with these 2 Tommy guns one in each hand, and goes, "Say hello to my little friend."
Nice. Nice. You know what? If you can't pull off a Pacino quote, then you're not teaching your kid right. So
exactly. So
good on you.
But there's good times. But now, like, some of those things are like literally like little miniguns, and they're uploading with like lithium batteries and everything into them, and they're supercharging those suckers.
You know what? Here's the thing. I had a hard line on any kind of toy guns.
Yeah.
And on any
really?
Oh, absolutely. I was like, nope, we don't need them because I hunt and I have lockers full. right?
That's fair. Yeah.
The last thing I wanted is our kids thinking that they're toys by any stretch of the
That's
imagination.
fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Eventually, yes, there's some Nerf guns. Although the rule was I bought a Nerf target, which was an electronic target that you shot it and it lit up. I said, you're shooting a target. Like, you're not shooting these people. And then eventually got to the point where they're playing with it. But
you're going to shoot someone.
Yeah, I'm really heavy on the rules when it comes to stuff like that because
having
heaven forbid.
Guns around. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much were those guns?
$29, I think.
That's cheap.
Are you on the Showcase website?
Cheap. I am on Amazon right now, and they have so many of them, right?
You have no idea how much fun those are.
Really?
Oh, okay. Absolutely. Like, you pull the trigger and they recharge. They have a battery. They come with a charger.
Some of them are a lot of money there, man.
There are some that have a light. So when you shoot the water, it looks like a laser.
Nice.
Which is overkill because you're doing this outside during the day, for Christ's
sake. Oh, yeah, exactly. What I should do is get a couple little ones for my kids, one for my wife, just really small ones, and get one of these really, like, this is like a space age assault rifle style.
Really? I mean, this will teach them the importance of teamwork.
Yeah.
And understand how to cover someone's flank.
That's true. You know, these
on
are
your six,
things
on your six, on your six.
Yep. When the zombies come, we got to know these things, right?
Would you say that it's fair? Did we talk about this? How every guy believes that they could. Yeah, we talked about this. Where every guy believes that they could survive a zombie apocalypse.
No, we didn't. But we did talk, I think, a little while ago about how every guy's fantasy is to go out guns blazing, you know, defending or like holding off a zombie horde or something while your loved ones get away.
Right. And it's a ridiculous notion because you would have to be on the roof. One. You have to be on the roof. But then again, if one gets inside, someone inside better know how to use something.
Exactly. You know, it doesn't take very much, especially those zombies. You shoot one in the arm, it's not going to stop. And now you're down one more round and they know exactly where you are.
Well, you go downtown and get yourself a machete. Those things are wandering around there quite a bit.
Wow. Yeah. Or hammers or something like that. Right. Yes.
Exactly.
2020 was a lame zombie apocalypse.
We didn't get the zombies that we were shooting for. Like we really thought something was going to come of this.
We do have zombies walking around, but it's not the same, right? It's not the same.
It's a different type of zombie.
Yeah, exactly. Have you seen? There's a commercial where a guy wakes up, he looks outside, there's all these zombies walking around,
right?
And he goes, "Oh my god, like this is my day," you know. So he gets on all this football gear and equipment, and he goes out with a bat, like it was a British cartoon or commercial. So he gets a big what are those big wide bats? What game is cricket bat? Yeah. And he goes over and he's just wailing on the zombies, just beating them down. And it's finally, they're all on the ground bleeding. He's taking a few breather. He looks over and the production crew is just staring at him.
So what would you do if someone you knew was a zombie? Like, say I came to your house and I'm clearly a zombie. Like, would you just end me or be like, dude, so sorry, but bang? Like, would there be a conversation?
I think it'd be a pretty one-sided conversation between you trying to eat me and me trying to just...
and me
not be eaten, and be like, no.
I'm a big eater, so I mean, there's a good chance.
Well, yeah.
But the problem is, here's the problem. If I ate you, I'd be hungry in 20 minutes.
That's true, right? You get the whole family in no time. That's the problem. I can't stop.
Absolutely.
Run. You have a 20-minute lead.
20 minutes. He's full for a minute, but he just ate Chinese.
Oh, zombies.
Zombies.
The same.
Speaking of things that seem a little bit brain dead, here's where I have an issue with the whole idea of we're going to get into gentle parenting.
Gentle parenting. Yep. Here we go.
Now, when I hear a child ordering their parents around.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, hell's no. And also when parents don't call the bullshit out that their kids are doing.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I'm going to share this because why wouldn't I? We're at the campground. And Bo comes to the camper and says, "These boys threatened me with a knife." I'm like, huh?
Interesting.
So I'm up, I'm out. And I knew who she was hanging out with. So I went to their camper. I'm talking to the dad. And I'm like, "Do you hear the same thing?" He goes, "Yep." I go, "Do we know who they are?" He goes, "Yep." So we go to this camper. And these kids are playing in the bush with this little pocket knife. And he goes and says, "Give me the knife." Takes it. We go to the camper, talk to the parents. Now the parents are sitting there watching a hockey game. Now, guess what sport these kids play? Yeah, that's right.
Probably hockey. Yeah.
Yeah. And heaven forbid you piss them off when they're 7 because they're going to cut you off when they make it to the show. And remember when you gave me shit when I was 6? Now, because they're all going to make it. So we go in there and he explains what happened. And I've never seen a parent less bothered by something.
Really?
In all the live long day.
Yeah.
And then I reply after nothing is happening. There's nothing burger of a conversation. And I look at the mom and go, "This needs to be a conversation. Like now." Well, of course I'm going to talk to them about it. I'm like, "You get up." I'll tell you what, Jay, if you ever came to my house and said, "Hey, your kid, bang, bang, bang," my ass is off that chair.
Yeah.
We're going to have a very public conversation.
Let's get to the bottom of this now.
So do I think anything was said? Probably not.
No. Of course not.
And this is where you have kids that don't understand the consequences of their decisions. Because what happens if this kid did, and it wasn't like it wasn't like anything major, but it was like one of those,
It's like not a machete or anything like that. It was just, waving it around, look at me, kind of cool.
The thing had a corkscrew on it. It wasn't exactly a dangerous thing, but here's the problem. Let's just say a kid does something like, like just waves it and does it to the wrong kid. And that kid throw punches the kid.
Yep.
Now who's the victim?
Well, that's the thing, right?
Right.
Because you can guarantee the kid who got punched, his parents are going to be they're going to go for the jugular,
Right. However,
they're going to go hard.
Right. So, but who started it?
Yeah. That's the thing, honestly, I don't even know what the legal system would go for on that point in time. Because technically, is it a self-defense at that point in time?
I would say so. I mean, this is more of just a common sense, you screwed up, your parents, like when they talk, and we talked about this earlier, when it was the spare the rod, spoil the child.
Yep.
Now, what do you think a spanking does? What's it about? 100%.
Well, it's never really about the pain. Like, that's the thing, because you don't want to beat the shit out of your child.
No,
you don't want to inflict the pain. That's the thing, because it doesn't work.
No, what's the purpose of it? I'm trying to get down to the nitty. I think I showed that to you.
Yeah,
what's the purpose of it?
The shame, the humiliation of it. Yeah.
So shame means more than pain.
Yeah.
Right? Pain is fleeting. Shame kind of sits with you for a bit. It's the idea of you should be ashamed of your behavior. And this is why I'm doing this. And no, I don't think that anybody should haul off on their kid. No, I would never say that. But making the kid accountable for what they did should mean something.
Yep.
And if you're a parent
absolutely.
And if you're a parent that wouldn't say shit if their mouth was full of it, guess what? Your kids are going to take advantage of that.
Yep.
That's going to spill into school where they're going to lip off a teacher. I'll tell you what.
It gets worse. Once they're pushing the barriers, and they're going to push and keep pushing.
Right. So they lip off the teachers, and that goes nowhere because obviously it's the teacher's fault, not the little brat's fault. And then it goes to your adult life where you believe that you're above the law and no cop is going to tell you what to do. And what do you do? I don't have to give you my license. Listen, kid, when we were growing up, to this day, if I got pulled over, it would be, yes, sir. No, sir. Yep. Here's my license. Thank you. Have a nice night. That's it. Like when you went to pit parties when you were a kid, maybe. Okay.
Yep.
Pit parties, when those cherries came a running, you got out of there.
Yep. You didn't stick around to see what's going to happen.
No. And if they did catch you, you were grateful. If they said, get out of here, we don't want to see you back here. Dude, I walked from the East End.
You dodged that bullet.
And you're just hoping that a phone call doesn't happen to your parents.
Exactly.
Right. Because then you're actually in shit.
Yeah,
so I remember
it's going to go down. Yeah.
Right. I remember walking from the East End pits to Marquee.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a ways, eh?
And grateful that I got to walk home and not get driven home in the back of a cruiser. Now, what we're doing, we're obviously drinking underage. But I mean, I see many parents failing so much. You know what? I think that we all want to be. Our parents were harder on us. Yeah, like I believe that our parents were stricter with us. So am I as strict? There are hardline rules that we have in this house. Hardline rules. Manners matter. Manners absolutely matter. You will never start a fight, but you're welcome to end it.
Yeah.
And just be a nice human being, right? Be respectful of your elders, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And do I think that
shithead, right?
Right. Now, am I harsher than my parents were? No. But I'm a lot harsher than a lot of parents that I know.
There's a lot of parents that let a lot of shit go, like way too far.
Well, will it be
because your kids can do no wrong, right?
Right. Would it be fair to say there's a hierarchy in a household?
There should be.
Right. So who is at the top?
But not the kids, that's for sure.
No. Why is it that we're seeing that?
That's, like I was actually talking to a lady about this. Okay, we're talking about the same thing about the hierarchy, and she was saying, like there is a hierarchy in the household, and I said, okay, what's the hierarchy? And she goes, well, it's the parents first. And I said, okay, but realistically, when you look at a pyramid, it's supposed to be a peak. There's 1, then 2, then from there, right? So I said, so who is it, the man or the woman, right? And that's where she got stumped, right? That's where she got stumped. And she goes, well, no, they're supposed to be together. It's like, but you should have 2. So realistically, and I'll say this because it was a sensible conversation. It is who should be the highest should be like God, right?
Okay.
That should be the one who has the most respect, who makes the most rules, but right or wrong, some sort of higher power, right?
I would say,
and then you can have the husband and wife.
Okay. Oh yeah, you have a moral compass.
Right?
You know right from wrong. Now in your house.
Yeah.
Here's the question. Who do they fear more?
Who do they fear more? Oh, I think that is different because depends on the parents. Because there's going to be times when certain things happen and it's like, don't tell mom. And then there's going to be other times when something happens like, don't tell dad.
Dude, if I say
if you're the one who's involved in it and they confess to you, they're like, don't tell mom, right? And vice versa, right?
If I say don't tell mom, they tell mom. They can't keep a secret.
No, I mean the kids. If the kids say don't tell mom.
Oh, right.
Like please don't tell mom. Don't tell mom this happened or whatever. And then so who do they fear the most? Depends on the situation.
See, I think that in our house, they'll confide in Kelsey more.
Right.
They fear me more.
Right.
But Kelsey and I were raised differently though, right? Like hell came to the table if you were in shit. Yeah. Now I'm not that bad, but it's still like in here now.
Yeah.
What just happened? And I'm a little more harsh. I'm a little more blunt. And I think that when you have I fear more, he was strict and consistent there. That makes sense. I'm consistent in the way I do. I think Kelsey is, trust me, if her fuse gets lit, kaboom.
Yeah.
Right. It takes more for them to light her fuse than it takes to light my fuse.
Yeah.
However, once I say it, it hits. And same with her. I think we have different ways of saying it, but it hits. Like when this whole thing happened with these kids at the campground, I came back to the camper and I looked at Gage and I said, if I ever hear of any shit, like, cause he has a pocket knife, like he whittles and stuff and he knows how to sharpen it and he respects it as a tool. I said, if I ever hear of you pulling this kind of shit, I go, you'll be lucky if you're ever buttering toast again. Understood? And he looks at me like, why would I do anything like that? I go, hey, I know that. I'm just saying no one's going to have this conversation because you pulled this crap.
Exactly.
And this is where you get young kids that turn into big kids that fear nothing.
Yeah.
When you fear nothing, well, what happens when some authority figure gets in their life?
Well, it's just a challenge to piss them off and try and get away with it.
Would you have ever lipped off? Again, I'm going to go back to, did you ever lip off a teacher? Ever? Ever?
No. Well, one day I did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I had zero respect for him because he was a crappy educator.
Would you blame the teacher for your bad grades?
In this case, I did. Yes.
You were failing because he was a bad teacher?
Yes, because he was marking me absent when I was there.
What?
Yeah.
Did he think you're...
I almost failed grade 12 because he marked me not in class.
Did he think you were sleeping?
No. Yeah.
I'm just saying, actually, here's repercussions for your actions. Do you remember Mr. Hill from Massey?
Yes. Yeah.
We had social studies. This is where a little bit of shame and humiliation goes a long way. I had Mr. Hill for social studies, and you know they bring out the projector.
Yeah, God.
And you're watching some bullshit show.
Boom, you're out. Yeah.
Right. So I fell asleep, like drooling on my desk, asleep.
Yeah.
Did he wake me up?
No.
Did he get the class to leave and the next class to sit down? Yes.
Yes.
Did I wake up with a whole other class around me?
That's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Was, hey, Polar Bear, how's it going?
That's great.
Was I embarrassed to all hell? Absolutely. Did I ever fall asleep in class again?
I probably, yes.
No, negative. Not again.
No, not even once. No.
So I believe shame means more than pain.
Well, it does. It's a very powerful motivator, which is why certain people act in certain ways now. Why they do or do not do the things they're supposed to be doing.
Well, there are people that'll do bad things and then hope to God that nobody finds out they did it, which goes back to what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid if anybody finds out you did something wrong. Well, you did something wrong.
Yeah.
And if it's public record, then everybody knows.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, there are laws and there are things that you're going to get in trouble with if you break them, right? And people don't want to know, which is why remember back in the day, if they caught somebody like stealing car stereos or something like that, they would put your name in the paper.
Yep.
And that was like the worst thing is like, oh my God, now I'm going to be in the paper, right?
Do you remember back when if you wrote a bad check, it was put up next to the till, the wall of shame? And here's the thing. Do something bad, do something stupid. Hey, you're obviously bold enough to do the bullshit that you did.
Yeah.
Pay the piper. Everybody should know how much of a piece of shit you are.
Well, there's a thing that we have when it comes to, and this comes down to people getting away with stuff, right? You go into a store and you steal some stuff and they catch you on video leaving and you can't even post those videos up because it's a person of interest. It's not somebody who's committed a crime.
Actually, you know what I saw? What's the dollar store by...
What's wrong? Yes.
Oh, the child. What's the dollar store by... Wes!
Yes.
How's it going, buddy? What's the dollar store by Superstore?
Sorry, 1 second.
No, go ahead. Who can tell me what the dollar store is closest to Superstore? Is anybody? What the hell is it called? It's like a party supply store. Jay's gone for a minute, and Jay can hear me when I'm talking anyway, so he can talk. He can answer. What's it called? Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes actually has a wall of shame, so they have photos of people who have stolen from them, which I don't disagree with. Jay, it's crazy. Kids could. Well, here's the thing, Evan, and I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second. A kid under 18, made out the fare pretty good, Polar Bear. I ate some poutine, had some regrets, but we had fun. The kids had a blast. It was a good time. And it was probably the best night to go because it was fairly slow. We could actually walk around and see people where on any other day, like today's going to be absolutely nuts in there. But going back to, did you have a good time, Polar Bear? That's it. Okay. So they have at Looney Tunes, they actually have a wall of shame. So people that steal from them, they have a picture of them and it's up on the wall.
Good. Yeah.
Because I believe corporately, some stores will not allow them to post this stuff, right? But a privately owned store,
corporate? Looney Tunes is private, isn't it, eh?
I think it's private, but I mean, here's the thing. If you steal from me, if you wrong me, and you're charged with it, and it's happening, why should I keep it a secret?
Well, that's the thing. And I get it because they're like to prevent vigilantism. It's like, well, seriously. So now people know they can get away. Remember when the liquor marts were getting hit in Winnipeg really hard?
Yep.
And there was an article in the paper saying, you're not supposed to stop people who are stealing because that could be assault. And then people went, oh, great. So it's free reign to grab whatever the hell I want. That's great.
Right. But like going back to Evan, we said kids can commit murder and still get away with protection of anonymity. Here's the thing about kids, and I'm not defending bad behavior. Don't ever think I'm doing this. But a child from whatever age till 17, I would say there's a chance of rehabilitation. There's a chance that they can right themselves somehow, and their lives aren't completely ruined. Now, murder is a different story, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like the kid steals, the kid does that. There's a chance they can straighten themselves out. If you're 40 or 30 and pulling this shit, especially if you've done it over and over and over again. Like, I don't think there's a whole lot of regret that you did it. Like, if there's a chance, then take that chance and turn your life around, man. Like, I have seen people, I know people who have, here's the thing. I've had, and I've talked about this before, I've had people in my chair who have been, for lack of a better term, pieces of shit that have switched their lives around and changed their lives for the better. Okay.
Right.
Like, whether they had a life of crime, whether they're selling drugs, whatever it was, and they changed their lives and they moved forward.
Yes.
Now, I've also got people, I've had people who had everything, life by the grapes, and flushed their lives down the toilet.
Right.
Now, we're all adults here. We make decisions every day.
We are anyways, right?
Right. So as an adult, we calculate what we're doing, right? We calculate our chances of getting away with it. Of course you do. Like, if you're going to commit a heist, and here's the thing. You ever want to hear the dumbest crime that I knew about when I was working in the mall? And I can respect that.
Yeah, let me know. Yeah.
Okay.
It's here.
So they had some kiddie rides. I enjoyed them. Is that me? Wes, come on, man. You're a good man all the way around.
Yeah.
But Wes, you know this too. We know people that have had gray area lives. However, Graham Clements.
Hey, Graham.
Hey, Graham.
Chinese.
So we know people that have had gray areas in their lives, right? However, could you have a good heart and make bad decisions? Yes.
Yeah, of course. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. We're not married to our habits or our whatever. And you can switch that around. I know, trust me, I know people that have been on the wrong side of everything. However, are they bad people? Do I trust them? Well, some, yeah, for sure. There's some that I don't. But I think that at a young age, there's I'm not saying you, Wes. My God. Jesus Christ. Like, I played football with Wes back in the day. Like, Jesus, man. Oh, no kidding.
Yes, he did. Yeah, Graham did.
So
it's because we're old, really.
What's that?
Yes, we're old. We're very old.
We are old. So what I'm saying is that when kids do things and they end up on the wrong side of the law or the wrong side of whatever, still having that one chance, it's like having a mulligan. You get one, right? Yep. You get that one mulligan. And if you can switch your shit around, do it. Some don't. I get that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have that chance. So, but again, if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, and you're pulling this shit, I'm sorry. Your anonymity is bye-bye, because you've calculated this. Let's go back to the heist. That was the dumbest thing I'd ever seen. Yep. I worked at the mall for, 10 years at Hair Today? Now, again, there's smash and grabs. There's liquor stores. There's this that happens. But when you actually hear about a heist, like, I'm talking like they planned this. Not well, but they planned it. Did you ever work in the mall?
No, never did. So now I'm curious what this heist was.
So between each store, it's basically steel studs and drywall, right? Okay. So somebody decided they were going to hide in a change room until after close.
Okay.
Every store has a float. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Follow me so far?
Yeah.
So they closed up. This person hid and then went store to store with a drywall knife, cutting through the drywall to each store. Here's the problem. Guess what's at the end of each at the end of each group of stores? There's a brick wall.
Yeah,
they were stuck in there.
Yes.
Yeah. So, nice. Poorly executed because you didn't realize there were brick walls on each side of the shops, and there's like a maze of hallways through there too.
Oh wow, that's brilliant.
It's like if I heard of someone like coming down through the ceiling of a bank and avoiding lasers, you know what? Hats off to you for figuring that out.
Good for it.
This dipshit did not think that far ahead.
Like that. There were some good ones that like some cell phone stores got hit pretty hard where they came through the ceiling and stuff, right?
But again, why are you going to steal a cell phone? The thing has a set like a number. They can just deactivate these phones.
Only in North America.
Well, we're in North America.
Yeah, you sell them overseas.
Right? I guess that works.
That's where they go. Yeah, they steal them and they send them overseas.
Were you Zumba, Bernice? You were at the mall when this happened, so okay, we have confirmation that it's not bullshit. Yeah.
You didn't make it up. That's great.
No, but here's again, I respect the planning, and they thought they're going to get away with it.
Yeah,
and they sure did, because next thing you know, brick wall, and now you're stuck there till opening or until the security finally realizes that you're in there.
Right? Or when you want to give yourself up because maybe you want to hide it out and try to get, trying to get away with it still, right?
Your dental office. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I mean, do I respect the planning? I guess it's still a crime. Like, you shouldn't do it, but it's different than a smash and grab, or it's different than someone grabbing like a pack of smokes from behind the till at Safeway. Remember that?
Yeah.
When people used to do that,
Jesus,
stealing smokes from. Of course they did.
Yeah, I get it, but like, come on.
There was a kid in junior high that used to sell cigarettes for like $4 a pack.
It's good money for stolen goods, I guess. You know,
for sure,
20% off, right? So
yeah, but I mean, it's again, if you're a kid, there was no emergency exit for the guy. Not every store had. Well, they'd be locked, or there was no way for them to get out. Who knows? This is back in the day, though. Like,
like they're probably not very smart.
No. Well, here's the emergency exit would set off the alarm. So if you open that door, it sets off the alarm.
So run, just give her, right? Most people are going to try to break in, and so you get like 5 minutes before the cops get there. Why wouldn't you just run?
I'm just saying there aren't a lot of smart criminals out there.
Well, geez, you know, like, imagine if they used their powers for good. You know, they could accomplish something, right?
That's why you got tins of chew. Oh my god!
Oh my god! Hot chew, good.
Hot chew. Get me a log. I'll give you $10.
Hot chew. That sounds like my uncle's name or something.
Jesus. Well, but you know what? We knew people. Again, I wasn't the guy doing that. However, you knew people that were.
Yeah, there's always somebody. You can always get something.
Well, the thing is, we had a. Everybody had a friend in the grade. Like, what was the biggest bullshit crime back in the day? In think junior high. What was the dumbest thing people used to do? And I'll tell you where someone really screwed up. This is where nobody told this kid that's a bad idea. Right. Think about winter.
Okay.
And think about a stupid thing you do in the winter.
Just putting your tongue on a frozen piece of metal.
That's also stupid. Remember bumper shining?
Oh yeah, good times. I was thinking maybe they put something else on that frozen metal.
No, but here's the thing.
Because that would be a crime. That would be a crime.
Like, do you remember the big skidoo mitts with the snot fuzz?
For sure, yeah.
On the top. This kid, I ripped off 7-Eleven so much. Oh my god! How do you rip off 7-Eleven? Isn't everything like behind the counter? Oh, just stuff,
gum or whatever, right?
I guess. Where was it going? Oh, bumper shining. So this dipshit, his mitts were wet, and his mitts froze to the bumper of a city bus.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, he was kind of stuck behind that thing until the next stop. What is that a crime? Like, I wonder if it's a crime. Like, is bumper shining a crime?
I don't think so. Maybe it's reckless or something.
I don't think anybody does. Here's the thing. This is where you have kids these days that have never taken a risk.
You know, I heard a story in a book. It was a book of pranks, and they said this is what you do, because in the winter, what's one of the things you do when you have a car? If you see a snowman, you'll try to run over it or something, right? Destroy the snowman. So
I would never do that.
Right? But so what you do is you build a blaze snowman over a fire hydrant.
Oh,
boom! Right?
Yeah, hit it.
Yeah.
Here's how old we are, Jay. The internet does not know what bumper shining is.
What?
I might get that award.
ChatGPT.
I might get the award for the first Google search for is bumper shining illegal. It doesn't. It shows. It's talking about window tint. Window tint laws.
Okay, this is what ChatGPT says here about bumper shining. What is bumper shining? It's a slang term used in sales. Okay.
Did we just come up with? Am I the first person to Google this? No.
Is this like? This is interesting. Like, it's kind of funny. It's a term used in sales. Bumper shining.
Here's the thing.
What about? Hold on. Bumper shining in Manitoba. Maybe it's a prairie thing, just like a Chesterfield, you know?
Hang on. I want to see if I'm the first.
No. So this is what it says. In Manitoba, as in the rest of Canada, the legality of bumper shining, a practice in multi-level marketing where recruits or customers are placed under someone else's account. What? That's not even what we, like, come on.
Hang on. I found a article from Nisiki Cree Nation. Safety notice, stop bumper shining, 2019.
Yeah. Oh, Oh, now that's a very different meaning of bumper shining. Says sounds like you're referring to the old slang for hitching a ride on someone's car bumper, often called bumper riding or skitching.
Did anybody hear bumper shine, or like, am I so Manitoban that I'm the only person that ever did it?
And no, it's illegal and unsafe. Manitoba Highway Traffic Act prohibit clinging to moving vehicles if you're not properly seated or secured in the vehicle. And it's illegal for drivers to knowingly permit this.
So Marty McFly would have been arrested.
Absolutely. Police in Winnipeg and across Manitoba occasionally warn against this in the winter. Maybe ticketed. Really?
It was so much fun, though.
How are you going to ticket someone if you can't even give them the ID, right? If they're like 15 years old, they have no ID.
Well, that's where, here's the thing. Fireworks are confirmed. See, there we go. They're having them. Hopefully they're safe. Hopefully we don't end up with some weird accident.
Right. Well, that's the thing. So how much is the ticket? How much is the ticket? It's not even telling me how much the ticket is. Oh, $113. Starts at $113.
So $113 for bumper shining. And it's very unsafe. There's no doubt. It's insanely unsafe.
It's also a lot of fun.
It's super
when you have Doc Martens on, and you just go.
The right? Doc Martens. I had Doc Martens back in the day.
You know, I remember I had Doc Martens. I used to live on the top of the North Hill, right?
Yep.
And I needed to go see my girlfriend who was on the bottom of the North Hill. So I just got on the road, kicked off, and just skidded all the way down.
Now let's go right back to what we were talking about and I'll tie this together. Let's say your dad, one of your parents' friends saw you bumper shining.
Right.
Now, nobody else caught you. The police didn't catch you. How much of a sinking gut feeling would you have if you came home and you saw your dad's friend's vehicle sitting in your driveway that afternoon?
You know, I wouldn't even care because I wouldn't even think anything of it.
No, but what I'm saying is that back in the day, when they say it takes a village to raise a child, if your parents' buddies saw you pulling some shit, they would tell them, be like, hey,
absolutely,
Jay was this, that, and everything else.
Yeah.
Right. Why don't we do that anymore? Why don't we call it out? If your kid's being an asshat, why is no one just saying that? Like,
because I think a lot of people have turned into, mind your own business more than anything.
Okay, where your kid's going to grow up to be a juvenile delinquent, and he's probably going to spend some time in prison. So why don't we try to nip this shit in the bud right now and let him know there's some rules in life?
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. It's like if my kid's doing something wrong, I would like to know that, and then, kick their ass or cheer them on if it's really cool or something, Right. Because, there's going to be some things that be like, that was good.
Yeah, I'm proud of you for not wiping out. However, bad idea.
Maybe not a good idea.
No, and I think that when we had, it'd be fair to say we did some pretty stupid shit back in the day.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, okay, so you were doing bumper shining a lot?
No. Oh, God, no.
Like, I remember doing, like truck surfing, standing in the back of a truck bed as you're booting down turkey trails.
Oh, for sure. That was easy.
That was fun, but that's much more dangerous.
Oh, you get bounced off the back. If you wipe out bumper shining, you just slide on the road.
Exactly.
However, if you get bounced out of the back of a truck, you're probably breaking your arm.
Damn straight, right?
However, if you did that, would you do it again?
We always did.
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
Dukes of Hazzarding in it, like.
Okay, if you did it and you damaged somebody else's property and you got in shit for it, would you?
Depends. I guess depends if you liked the person. It really comes down to that too. So I mean, okay, if it was with your, if somebody broke their arm because of that, you probably wouldn't do it for a while.
Okay, I'll give you an example of something that happened way, way, way back in the day. I'm going to tell you this. Everybody needs to know this. Not that I'm proud of it. I've been shot once.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I was out gopher shooting. And this is back when you just get dropped off in a field with your buddies in a box of shells and you go shooting. Well, I had to take a dump. So I took my jeans off, hung them on the tree, and proceeded to do what I had to do. And my friends thought it'd be funny to shoot at my pants. And I got a zinger right off the right cheek. And did we tell our parents? No. Because holy shit, I would never be able to do it again.
That's the thing.
Now, what did it feel like? Thanks for asking. It's like getting punched with a match. That's what it felt like. And it just went, it like if this was my cheek, it was a, and holy shit. Like first it hurt.
Yeah.
But the next thing, you just did not want my mom to know when I got picked up.
It's going to hurt more when I
Oh
get
God.
max.
Well, everybody would have been shit. Everybody would have been in shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so did we ever do that again? Hey?
What movie was that? Bad Boys. That happened to the guy.
Someone got shot in the ass?
Yeah, I got shot in the ass. Yeah. You have to rewatch that one.
I don't recommend it. Mailbox baseball. Ooh,
Mailbox
for the
baseball.
farm kids.
Yeah. Those are good times, eh?
Now, okay, so here's the thing, Wes. Let's just say you did that, and old man McGillicuddy down the road caught you. He would have grabbed you by the scruff of your neck and hauled you in and waited for your parents to show up. That's the way it was. And you had to answer for your shit. We didn't ignore it.
Damn straight.
We didn't let's let it go. We didn't say, well, you know what? He's just expressing his feelings.
He's a good kid. You know, he's just frustrated. You know, he's not hurting anybody, or whatever million excuses you can come up with, right?
Right. So, but if you did, let's just say, Wes, back in the day, let's just say you hit the wrong mailbox and the old man came out. First of all, we would stop. Like, we would stop. If you got caught, you'd be like, oh shit. You didn't lip him off. Maybe you tried to run, but he knew who you were, so running didn't make a difference.
Yeah, you're just delaying the inevitable. It's going to get you eventually.
You took your licks. This person would get a hold of your old man, and you learned a lesson that day. And I think there's a lot less lessons being taught because why? Like, why? Like, here's the thing. I don't care how much of a badass you think you are. You do not want your kids to be that way.
No, exactly. Like, that's the thing. You know, if you have a kid who's, if you were a rough kid, or whatever, you didn't want that for your kids. You want the better for your kids, right? You just find out they're doing crazy things or trying to get away with basically murder. It's like, well, I don't want that. I didn't like that. I got sucked in deep, and you're supposed to be a better version of me, right?
Exactly. And Wes makes the right point. He would have to buy new ones. Yeah. Guess what? And whether you worked or not, or if dad had to buy them, holy shit, you're working that off. And you're not going anywhere until it's paid off, and you're grounded. Grounded meant
something back then.
Grounded meant that it was like solitary. You're in your room, and that's it.
You don't get your social media.
No, what are parents going to do with that now? They're going to say, okay, no tablet for your grounding, but they've got a phone at their hip because they need a supercomputer in their pockets at all time.
Well, that's the thing, right? So. No, sorry, you can only have 3 hours of social media every day now because you're grounded.
Can anybody tell me what a punishment is these days? Like, I'm trying to figure this out. We have young kids. Like, I don't mind taking everything away. Like, I remember you slammed the door in this house. Guess what? Your door is off the hinges.
That's it, right?
Guess what? Now you don't have a door. For how long? Until I decide you're going to get a door
Until I decide, I remember my daughter got mad at me, and she got really yippy at me. And so I yelled at her, and she stormed off, ran to her room, upset, slammed the door shut, and I went over and I almost put my fist through it. I just don't do that. Smacked it, and she freaked out. And I opened the door. It was like, "Get your ass out here!" And she was like terrified. And she was very nice after that.
I have more of a Jason Voorhees vibe, where I'll just walk towards you, and dude. You had to what fields? Tell me what that is, Wes. It sounds like you misspelled something. You had to rake fields?
Yeah.
You had to do chores?
Yeah.
You paid for it. Like, if you put a baseball through someone's window, guess what? Mom and dad they're going to have to pay for it, but you're paying for it.
Yeah.
And when I see kids or parents that are paying for their kids' bad behavior, and the kids are expecting that now. Expecting it. No, my parents are going to get me out of this. And that's when I'm telling you right now, if you got kids that are like from 2 to 20, and that's how you're raising them, you better have money for a lawyer, and a good one, because you're going to be paying for them all the time, every day, every year.
Yep. I'd lose the PlayStation and other electronics for 2 weeks was the usual grounding.
At least it was a grounding.
I remember I told my son I was going to sell his PlayStation on him. He didn't like that very much.
Mine was always like, you're grounded. You're not using the phone. You're not doing anything. TV was off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you had no entertainment. What are you going to do? Sit there and stare at the ceiling? Yeah, sure. Good thing I had comic books.
Go read.
I listened to music in my Oh, you had to pick stinkweed from the barley fields. Well, there you go, Wes. You were a man who got punished as a kid, and better off for it.
Yep.
Like,
good for you. That's how it should be.
Yeah. Like, why is it that? Are you your daughter's buddy?
Right. You're not supposed to be the friend. But it seems like a lot of people, that's really what it's turned into. It's like, I want my kids to like me. I want to be friends. No, you're supposed to be teaching them how to be useful individuals so they can contribute to society and not taking away from it, right?
Well, I think it starts in different ways too. Like, I'll tell you what makes my skin crawl. When I see a child, even an adult, unless you work together, calling their parents by their first name.
Right.
Yep. Oh, hell's no.
No, doesn't happen.
I think I might have done it with my dad when we were like drinking, like as adults, like way later in life.
Yeah. But he still kicked your ass, eh?
Oh God. But if I hear a kid talk to their family member, a parent, as by their first name, suddenly that hierarchy is here.
Yeah. You believe you're equal. That hierarchy. Yeah.
Right. Is it about power? No, it's about respect.
Exactly.
I gave Gage shit at the dollar store 3 days ago in public. Why not? Because he went to reach for something and there was a lady standing kind of in front. Okay. Right. And I said, what do you say? Excuse yourself before you go reaching. Do not reach in front of somebody. And he half ignored me and he went to reach and I just smacked his hand. I'm like, excuse me? He goes, pardon me. And the lady looked at me like, almost gave me a wink. Like, good job.
Yeah. Exactly.
I would never call my dad by the first name. Oh, God, no.
No.
Unless we are sharing an office somewhere and we are partners in a firm or something, like, you don't. Even then, it's dad. Like, Gage tried to call me brah one day. I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did you say brah? He's like, no, brah. I'm like, that's not better.
Yeah.
That's not any better.
Change that very quickly. Yep. Yeah. It's not about pet names here. Give me some respect.
Right. And that leads into, if you're trying to be on the same level as your kid, here's the kids. I love my kids, but they're not like kids are kids. They haven't developed mentally yet, right? They're still learning how to exist in society. So if you put yourself on the same level as them, they believe they're adults, but they have no clue how the world works.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that when we
elevate your kids, never elevate your kids to that level.
No, I tell you what, when my kids do something that's extremely mature, I will praise them for like, oh, good job, kid.
Yeah, that's good.
Right?
Because they need that.
Yeah, they need to do it themselves.
Yeah,
grow into it. But you call it whatever you want. There's so many different types, and I'm not saying I'm a great parent. Like, I'm a decent parent. They're still alive. Right. Like, I haven't messed them up that bad. But I mean, you can go from gentle parents to helicopter parents.
No, Angela, keep your clothes on.
Oh, come on, join the crowd. Say hi. Like, what's worse? Okay, what's worse, a helicopter parent or a gentle parent?
What's the difference?
Well, I'd say a helicopter parent is also the kind of wife who is at the hair salon telling the barber how to cut her husband's hair.
That's scary. Yeah.
Because she knows better.
Yeah.
Like, if our kids trip and fall, then they know where the Band-Aids are.
Yep. I guess, do you want an independent child, or do you want something? Do you want a trophy?
I believe that our job as parents is to raise responsible young adults.
Yeah.
And productive young adults.
Yeah.
Like, there's two things that I won't have in this house. And there's two rules. And I don't have a lot of them, but two of them. I will not accept. Oh my God, this rum's hitting me. Arrogance or laziness.
Yep.
Those are the two things. If you can go your life without being arrogant or lazy. And
You're
arrogance
pretty good. Yeah.
Right. And arrogance comes from not facing it when you make a mistake. Yep, I'm fine.
Exactly.
Everybody's misunderstanding me. No, dipshit. Yep. You stole a chalk bar from the store.
Yeah, you screwed up, and that's okay if you're willing to admit it. You screwed up. Okay, now how do we fix this? As opposed to, and that's the thing I see with a lot of kids now is deny that it ever happened, right? Did you do this? No. I saw you literally do it. No, you didn't.
Yeah, kids are horrible liars. Like, they can't.
Yeah.
And we've done worse than they did. You used to call your mom dude or bro? Oh, ballsy. Molly called her mom dude or bro. That's great. I'm not a dude. I'm not do that.
No, wouldn't do it. Nope.
I'll take dad, daddy, father, papa if you like.
Yep, just not something stupid. Just don't do something stupid like that. That's crazy.
And here's the thing: we're not level. We're not on the same level. So I can call Gage buddy, but he can't call me buddy.
No, exactly.
Like, okay, bud. Like, I don't think I've called Bo by her first name to her face since she was born. I've called her Peanut since the day.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so this even applies even to not your kids.
Sure.
Okay. So I was at the gym a little while ago, and it was the weirdest thing. There was a couple guys working out, okay, and there's a bench there I wanted. So I went over. I was like, "Hey guys, are you guys using this bench?"
All right.
And the one kid, he jumped up, just lickety split. Jumped up. He looks over at me, goes, "Oh no, sir. Did you want to use this? Sorry, I don't mind. I didn't mean to take it." I was like, "Did you just call me sir?" Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll take that as a compliment.
I'll take that as a little bit of respect. Like good. Like that's nice. You were inconveniencing people. Like it wasn't a big deal. There was no confrontation or anything. It was just like, hey, are you using this? And they jumped up right away because they were in the way of someone else's life. It's like, okay, you were brought up pretty well. That's good.
Okay, I'll give you an opposite story. I'm at the gym. This is a few years ago, and what's gym etiquette when you leave a piece of equipment?
Well, you take the weights off for one thing,
and
wipe it down. If you're sweaty and nasty and gross,
right? Wipe it down. I don't need to sit in your swamp. So there's this. I'm going to say a little like, okay, let me describe this kid to you. Probably 120 pounds, stringer, muscle shirt. Muscles are coming in next week, apparently. Cocky's all get out. And I see him go from one station to the next and hasn't wiped shit off. And I wanted the leg curl machine. And he finished up and I walk up to it and go, "You're going to wipe that off, right?" He goes, "What, you can't?" I go, No, you will.
Yeah.
And I just looked at him like, please, just give me a reason.
Yeah.
And of course he did and huffed away like a spoiled little shit. Huffed away. I'm like, dude, wipe your swamp off the stuff. I'm not trying to. I'm just telling you, you will wipe it down. Don't tell me that like you can't do it. I'm like, oh, I can, but I don't need to touch your nasty shit.
Exactly.
So where did this happen? Where you have a kid who might be 18, literally half my size at best, looking me in the eye.
I know where that came from.
Okay.
TikTok and YouTube. Okay. Have TikTok and YouTube because I've seen videos. Like I saw one a little while ago, and there's a big bodybuilder. He's working out with the weights, and these two kids come strutting up,
Yeah.
And one of them reaches over and grabs this guy's hat and puts it on.
Oh, hell no.
And the guy was like, "Excuse me?" He's like, "Give me my hat back." And the kids are just like, like just doing whatever the slang is. And the guy goes, "No, come here. Give me my hat back." And the guy kind of gets a little bit closer and he slaps the kid across the head and steals the hat.
Yep.
And the kid is indignant. He's like, like, "For real, bruh? For real, bruh?
Yeah, for real, bruh.
What's up? What's up?" And I was like, "Oh, so this is where some of the stuff gets from. People doing prank videos."
Yeah, and here's the thing.
They can get away with it, right?
I always assume that if I piss off the wrong person, there's a chance I'm going to lose a tooth or two.
That's it.
Oh, Evan, you just found my hill that I will die on as far as judging people on their worth as a human being.
Yep.
The people who do not return the shopping carts, I'm sorry.
Yep.
You're a special kind of. There's something wrong with you.
You're going to go to hell.
Yeah, like I get it.
It's not even your big inconvenience. It's just the simple fact that that's all you had to do to be a decent person.
And it's saying that the rules do not apply to me because I'm special. Just like my parents told me I'm special, so I shouldn't have to do what everybody else does.
Exactly.
Like, why? What's the answer to this, Jay? What's the answer? Like,
blunt force trauma.
The standards that we grew up with say that you paid the price for what you did, and everybody knows what you did.
Yeah.
Right? So, okay, let's just say robbed a bank. Okay.
Yep.
And it makes it out there. Of course it's going to make it out there.
Yep.
And you see the post or you see a thing and you're like, oh my God. Or you didn't even know me. You like, who's this asshole? And you say, wow, this guy did this, and bang. Should anybody be upset that it's out there? You did what made it out there. Like you did what made it out there.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, but your choices put you in the position you're in right now. And guess what? You should be judged. You should be judged for being a dipshit or being an asshole or being a thief or being whatever you are. That's the whole idea of it.
Realistically, yeah. I mean, if you're going to do the crime, you do the time, right? So,
right. It's sort of like if let's just say you had a business and that business failed for whatever reason. Nobody knows the reason for it. You shut it down one day. You're going to have more people judging you based on the fact that your business shut down. Well, obviously he didn't know how to, and people will speak freely.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
About someone's business failing or shutting down because I just didn't want to do it anymore. Okay.
Yep.
People will run that rumor mill all day long.
Yep.
But you commit a crime and people talk about it and you're pissed.
Yeah.
Dude, you literally broke the law. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I remember I used to walk to work. Okay.
Yeah.
Because, at that point in time, I lived on the 500 block of 6th Street. So it was literally a 10-minute walk. So why would I drive at that point in time? And I ran into a guy that I hadn't seen in a while. And he goes, hey, I saw you walking the other day. I was like, oh, yeah, I walk to work every day. It's kind of really quick and easy to get there. And he looks at me and he goes, oh, business isn't good, eh?
No, it's fine.
It's like, fine, I just don't want to spend the money. He's like, why would you not want to spend the money? So people have really weird concepts when it comes to business and everything. It's almost like people want you to have some success, but not too much success. Like you should do good, but not too good.
People like to see businesses fail, and heaven forbid, if you have a buddy who's on the gray side of the law and gets caught, you don't want anybody to know that happened.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, wait a minute, hang on, he's misunderstood. It's the system's against him. No bullshit. Here's the thing. I'm pretty sure you don't get arrested and go to court unless you've actually done something that's worth charging you for. Like they do that,
thing, right?
It sticks. And I defend the system.
I mean, to be fair, if you're going to go to court, you're still accused. So it's still going to be innocent until proven guilty.
Sure, and if you're innocent, then you know what? It can be a misunderstanding. But when you're guilty of it, this is the whole thing. Yeah. Here's the thing: if you're innocent, it probably would have been done by now. It shouldn't be going on for years and years and years.
Well, I don't know, man. Like sometimes, I've seen some stuff that just went on forever. Like when my son was dating a pretty rough girl, and like that stuff went on for months.
Dude, OJ got off in the summer.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? So
yeah. I still don't understand that one.
So let's just say...
Okay. Here we go. Look at this way. Epstein, he still hasn't been convicted or like fully charged with everything.
Isn't he dead?
No, not Epstein. Weinstein. Sorry, the other one.
Weinstein. Here's an interesting story. I was at... I think it's probably I met Kevin Smith back in the winter, right?
Yeah.
Did Mallrats, Dogma, and he's re-releasing Dogma. And the Weinstein Corporation actually held the rights to that movie for 25 years. He couldn't do anything with it. It's a great movie. He got the rights back to it, and he's retouring it through theaters.
Oh, that's cool.
This summer. And he's like, you know what? Fuck Epstein. Like this guy, blah, 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 blah. Like everybody knows what he did. So again, why do we... Again, the system has to do the system thing. If you didn't do it, great.
Well, why did he get away with it for so long if it was like the best known secret in Hollywood, right?
Well, because if you're an actor and you want to get gigs, you're not going to keep your mouth shut.
Or
That's
open.
what's going to happen.
Keep your mouth open.
Well, depending on what you're doing, but yeah.
Right?
So, no, but I think when you come down to your kids need to know that if they do something wrong, there has to be some form of punishment for it. And shame, I believe, is the best one. Like
it's the one that works consistently and always has, right?
Dude, since we're confessing things, I had to really do a self audit of anything I did wrong in the last whole while in my life. And someone asked me, have you ever shoplifted? I'm like, ugh. I remember this to this day.
Yeah.
It was a cassette. It was, oh my God. He was the lead singer of Iron Maiden. Tattooed Millionaire was Bruce Dickinson, Tattooed Millionaire. Okay. And remember when they came in the cardboard sleeve?
Yeah.
The cassettes? Yeah. I thought I was smart, and I'd go and rip the plastic. Then I'd go back and I'd do this. And then I'd go back and pull the cassette out and put it in my pocket. So I'm walking out of Woolco, might have been back in the day.
Yeah, Woolco. Yeah.
Hand on the shoulder. I'm like, oh, I'm caught. Did I ever do it again? No.
No, probably not.
Did they call my parents? Absolutely. What did they say? They said, are you going to come and get your kid? And my dad said, he can walk home. Now, I lived on
the walk of shame, eh?
Right. I lived on Marquee, and Woolco was in the mall. So it wasn't a far walk.
Yeah.
When I tell you that I walked for hours that night, in the winter, avoiding getting home, hoping that my parents would be asleep, I walked to the rec center golf course, and I was like walking, terrified.
Yeah.
Terrified. Because here's the thing. I had the money in my pocket.
Yeah.
I had the money in my pocket. I could have bought it.
Yeah.
But I thought I was going to be a badass that day and try to swipe a cassette. And did I ever do it again? No. What the hell was I thinking? Why would I do that?
Because you wanted to see what it felt like, right?
It might have been the endorphin rush. It might have been the fact that I hung out with some pretty shady kids back in junior high and high school, which, by the way, lots of them did not turn out to be much better. Life got worse.
Sometimes those people don't really change too much, do they? Right?
No. But again, these were the same kids whose parents were cool with us drinking there on the weekends when we were 15.
Yeah.
So again, where's the structure?
Yeah, exactly.
Like when
they say, "Oh, get away with way too much."
Right. Like when they say, "Oh, my kids are going to drink anyway, I might as well let them do it at the house." No. That's not the idea. The idea is if I'm going to drink, like I remember sneaking. We used to call it bitches brew, and it was like a bottle of Coke or whatever, and you go to the liquor cabinet and put like an ounce of everything in there just to top it up.
Yeah.
And drink that, and you'd have vodka, whiskey, rum, gin, Baileys, liqueurs, everything in that.
Good old, what do they call it? 649, 6 from the left, 4 from the right, and 9 from the left again, right?
And you drink this concoction all night, and you were young, but you didn't care, and you thought you were. You probably were, but you did not. I never wanted my parents' blessing to drink, and in fact, I was smoking. I was a smoker through junior high and high school.
Okay? Jeez, man.
Right. And here was the rule. They figured out that I was smoking. My dad smoked, but
smell it on you, right?
Anyway, yeah. So here was the rule. They go, okay, you know what? You're going to smoke, just not in your bedroom. That was the rule. Okay. Ask me if I ever smoked a cigarette in front of my parents. Never.
Never, eh?
Nope. I wouldn't do it, even as an adult. Eventually, when I was like in my 20s, I guess I did, but I would never, because I knew how disappointed they were that I was doing it.
Yeah,
like
we're not mad. We're just disappointed,
right? And your kid should know if they're disappointing you, and that's not happening. Where we're proud of him no matter what he does. Are you really?
Yeah. Nope. You got. Sometimes you got to be the parent, and you got to use the tools that you have available. And sometimes, like you didn't perform. Yes. Why do you need the charger? Okay, in a few minutes. I've got to run.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna wrap this up and give me 1 minute.
Yep.
So going back to what I talked about with this whole thing with the knife and all this stuff, it would have been a proud moment, like for a kid to learn. Like if our kid was dumb enough to do something like that, and hell came down upon him, which should happen, if that kid would have apologized to the girls that he did this to.
Yes, absolutely. That would be the least of the things that they could have done, right?
Take accountability for the actions that you did. And that's all you need to do. Because, again, a little bit of shame, a little bit of humility goes a long way. And I think that's where we're lacking. So
I agree.
Yeah. But, hey, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us for a bit. I mean, we cut it a little bit short today. But, hey, there's nothing wrong with being a hard ass on your kids. I mean, they respect that, and they learn to respect other adults, I believe, when that happens. So, hey,
that's what I've got to do now. I've got to make sure that little girl who's going over for a sleepover is going to be respectful to some parents.
That's all you got to ask them to do, man. Say yes, no, thank you, And you're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
guys. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Okay.
It was awesome seeing you
Have a
again.
good night,
We'll
guys.
be a little bit more consistent now, guys. All right.
We'll have some fun.
Cheers. Have a great night, guys. Have a great weekend.